50,000 years ago, somewhere in the prehistoric wilderness, a hunter threw an unfamiliar plant onto a campfire. The leaves caught fire. A strange cloud of smoke spread through the group. People began coughing. Then their bodies relaxed. Their fear faded. The flames appeared brighter. The night felt less dangerous, and someone decided to burn the same plant again the following evening. That may have been the exact moment humans invented smoking. One accidental breath beside a prehistoric fire, eventually leading to pipes, rituals, tobacco empires, and billions of people deliberately pulling smoke into their lungs. It is an incredible origin story. There's just one problem. I completely made it up. No archaeological discovery proves that this hunter, this plant, or this moment ever existed. And that is exactly why finding the real beginning of smoking is so difficult. Smoke disappears. Lungs decay. Wooden pipes rot. The first human who deliberately inhaled smoke left behind no name, no written record, and probably no object that survived long enough for us to discover. So instead of searching for one perfect moment, archaeologists must reconstruct the story from a handful of strange clues. A million-year-old fire, 4 microscopic tobacco seeds, a stone tube containing nicotine, and an ancient cemetery where cannabis was deliberately burned. Our investigation begins deep inside Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa. Researchers studying sediments inside the cave discovered burned bone and ashed plant material dating back approximately 1 million years. The remains were found deep inside the cave alongside evidence of ancient hominin occupation. This makes Wonderwerk Cave one of the earliest strong archaeological sites connecting our distant ancestors with fire. But the people using that fire were not Homo sapiens. Modern humans had not evolved yet. The fire may have been used by an earlier human species, although the exact species responsible cannot be established from the burned remains alone. And this is where we must make an important distinction. Using fire is not the same as smoking. Anyone sitting near an ancient fire would have inhaled smoke accidentally. But smoking requires something more deliberate. A person must intentionally burn or heat a substance so that its smoke or vapor can be inhaled. Wonderwerk Cave proves that burning occurred inside an ancient occupation site. It does not prove the existence of tobacco, cannabis, pipes, or intentional intoxication, so the first smoker remains completely invisible. The next major clue appeared thousands of kilometers away, in a dry corner of Utah. At a site now called Wishbone, archaeologists uncovered the remains of an ancient human camp. The site included animal bones, stone tools, and a hearth dating to approximately 12,300 years ago. Inside that hearth, researchers found 4 charred seeds belonging to wild tobacco. 4 seeds may not sound like much, but those tiny remains pushed the known relationship between humans and tobacco deep into the Ice Age. The seeds were found in a clear archaeological context, surrounded by evidence of human activity. This strongly suggests that the people occupying the site had collected, transported, processed, or used the tobacco plant. But it does not tell us how. The people may have chewed the plant. They may have processed the leaves and thrown the seeds into the fire. They may have used tobacco for medicinal or ceremonial reasons. They may even have deliberately inhaled its smoke. Every one of those explanations is possible, but the physical evidence cannot tell us which one actually happened. So at 12,300 years ago, we can confidently say that humans were using tobacco. We cannot confidently say that they were smoking it. For the first strong evidence of tobacco smoking, we must travel forward almost 9,000 years. The Flint River archaeological sites in what is now Alabama, researchers examined the stone smoking tube recovered from an ancient lair. Material associated with the tube was dated to between approximately 1685 and 1530 BCE. That makes the object roughly 3,500 years old. The object already looked like a smoking device. But archaeology cannot rely on appearance alone. Ancient smoking tubes could have been used with many different plants. Something that resembles a tobacco pipe does not automatically prove that tobacco was placed inside it. So researchers tested the residue trapped within the tube. Using 2 different chemical analysis techniques, they detected nicotine. This is where the evidence becomes much stronger. A smoking tube containing ancient nicotine residue provides direct evidence that people in North America were smoking tobacco at least 3,500 years ago. Not because someone imagined the prehistoric scene, not because an ancient legend described it. The object, its archaeological context, and the chemical residue all point toward the same conclusion. But tobacco was not the only substance ancient people deliberately burned and inhaled. Around 500 BCE, people buried their dead at Jirzankal Cemetery, high in the Pamir Mountains of Central Asia. Inside several tombs, archaeologists discovered wooden braziers. These were small containers used for burning material. The braziers also contained stones that had been exposed to intense heat. Researchers chemically analyzed residues preserved on the wood and stones. They detected compounds produced by cannabis, including cannabinol, a substance that can form as THC breaks down over time. The discovery demonstrated that cannabis had been deliberately burned inside the braziers approximately 2,500 years ago. Researchers believe the resulting smoke or vapor was probably inhaled by people participating in funerary rituals, but this was not cigarette-style smoking. The cannabis appears to have been placed inside wooden braziers and heated using hot stones. The smoke would then have spread through the surrounding space. The exact meaning of the ritual is unknown. The cannabis may have been used to alter consciousness, communicate with the dead, cleanse participants, reduce grief, or serve some other purpose that has been completely lost. Archaeology can tell us what was burned and where it happened. It cannot read the minds of the people standing around the brazier. There is also a remarkable written clue from roughly the same general period. The Greek historian Herodotus describes Scythians placing hemp onto red-hot stones beneath felt coverings. According to his account, the heated hemp produced a thick vapor during a cleansing ritual performed after a burial. Herodotus was describing a different population from another region of Eurasia. His account does not directly explain the Jirzankal discoveries, but the written description and archaeological evidence together show that cannabis burning rituals genuinely existed in the ancient world. So when did humans actually start smoking? The honest answer is that we do not know. Humans were using fire inside Wonderwerk Cave approximately 1 million years ago. But fire alone is not evidence of smoking. People were associated with tobacco at the Wishbone site approximately 12,300 years ago, but we do not know how they consumed it. Nicotine inside a 3,500-year-old stone smoking tube gives us strong direct evidence of tobacco smoking. And approximately 2,500 years ago, people in the Pamir Mountains deliberately burnt cannabis during funerary activity, probably inhaling the resulting fumes. Now, let us return to that prehistoric hunter from the beginning. Could someone have accidentally burned a psychoactive plant, inhaled the smoke, noticed its effects, and decided to repeat the experience? Yes. It is entirely possible. Humans living around fires would inevitably have inhaled smoke from countless plants. Some discoveries throughout history have almost certainly begun as accidents. But possible is not the same as proven. We have no archaeological evidence identifying the first smoker. We do not know which plant was smoked first. We do not know whether smoking began through medicine, ritual, curiosity, intoxication, or a completely ordinary accident. The true origin may be tens of thousands of years older than the oldest surviving smoking device. Almost every human invention is older than its earliest preserved evidence. But science cannot fill the missing space with a story simply because the story sounds convincing. So the history of smoking does not begin with a caveman confidently taking the world's first puff. It begins with 4 burned seeds, a stone tube, invisible molecules trapped for thousands of years, and archaeologists careful enough to admit what those clues cannot tell us. One of humanity's most widespread habits may have begun in a moment so ordinary that it vanished completely, leaving behind nothing but smoke.